Hello Aquarius, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aquarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Aquarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we've got an Eight of Wands. You're somebody who's good at a lot of things, right? I feel like you've got a lot of interests in life. You're somebody that I think has really like a dozen hobbies, you know? And sometimes I think we feel a little bit of anxiety when we have the free time to indulge in one of these hobbies, to engage one of these interests. Because there's so many, how do we choose, right? And I've talked about this before with my own problems of kind of getting things started. You know, I have so many things that I want to do, that I love to do, that I have an interest and a passion for. I end up not doing anything. Because when I have that moment of free time, which is very rare these days, I can't decide what to do. So it's the jazz hands. We're tap dancing on the shag carpet. We're feeling anxious because we know that we have to settle down and get to work somewhere, but there's just so many things we want to do, right? So how do we prioritize in our lives? How do we figure out kind of what to settle down and do, and how do we avoid that kind of draw, that temptation from all those other things? How do I focus on one thing for this hour or whatever and not hear the siren's call from all those other things that I want to do, you know? So let's look at this card. Let's see what is going on with all of this creative energy, all of this interest. Five of Cups, Three of Cups. Yeah, okay. This is pretty confirming for me. The Two of Swords, Seven of Swords, Five of Cups, Three of Cups, what we really feel. This is what we really want. We've got the abundance, the love, the joy. We've got this love, all of this. Really, it's a celebratory energy in us. We just need to find a way to unleash it. We need to commit to something that's going to allow us to express all this love and all this joy and pleasure we have kind of in potential form underneath everything, right? Ace. See, there's now picking the one path. We're picking that one thing. And this doesn't have to be one thing for the rest of your life, right? This is just this is picking that one thing for now, for today, for this hour. You know, what's the book you're going to read now? You know, what's the next hobby that you're going to engage with? What's the next thing that you're going to commit yourself to? See, we don't have that card of commitment, though, necessarily. We don't have the Lover's card, right? We've got an Ace of Pentacles, which I think is very positive. We also have the Moon card here in this position of the obstacle, right? And I think that, the Moon card in this case is kind of representing that dream life, that state of consciousness where all images are active, right? Where we cannot find our way through this darkness because there's just too much going on, too many, our imagination is running wild, you know, that we're in this dream that we don't yet have control of. You know, you remember these dreams, right, where there's just so much going on, the scene is just changing constantly, and there's just so many images and symbols and forms and entities and all of these things that are just appearing and disappearing, and it's hard to really get ahead. It's hard to understand what it means. It's hard to navigate it. It's hard to get any kind of control over it. This is just a myriad of images with no discernible like narrative to it. Very disjointed, you know. This is what we don't want. We want to see a clear path. I want to be able to focus on this one thing and see it through till the relative end, you know, even if it's just for the day or for the week or whatever, whether it's a hobby or maybe a subject in school or university, if it's a career path, if it's a relationship, whatever it might be. It's difficult to really, it's difficult to navigate when there's just so many symbols, so many images popping up, and they're all kind of a different nature, you know. So it's kind of like one of those dreams that we really just, there's no narrative to it. We can't really get control over it. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And we're going to put Tiny Bob Ross right on top. Everybody loves happy little Bob. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need. If at any point during this discourse you have a hunch about that card, go ahead and put your prediction in the comments below. All right. Now we can look at the major arcana. We have two. We have the Chariot and the Moon, right? And the Chariot really is, this is kind of that devotion, that commitment. And this is kind of like, this is us saying that once we have this ace, once we have that holy grail, once we decide on this thing and we feel it and we're committed to it and we make that promise, we take that oath. See, the ace is what the charioteer is holding here, right? Holding that ace. Once we have that, then we are willing to go through this nightmare land, this dark night, this unknown wilderness. See, we're taking that journey, we're making that quest through the wilderness. Yeah. And I feel like this is us really following a particular path until we reach the kind of depths of it, until we reach the ultimate satisfaction of this. We've got this Queen of Cups up here at the top, and this is really your heart's desire. This is really that satisfaction, that it's not just surface level. This is not just something that feels good right now. This is something that really speaks to the core of who you are. Okay? So I feel like it's very important for you right now to maybe to start something. Okay? And what I mean is we've got this Eight of Wands, but it's leading into Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is water and fire. So it's kind of as if we are just, we're trying to pick the best option, right? And this is kind of like you're trying to pick the best of the best. So if every option seems so great and so has such tremendous potential, you kind of just got to throw a dart at the wall, and whatever it hits, that's it, you know? So it's kind of saying you don't have to know right now exactly what you want to do, but you've got to do something, okay? This is that feeling as if I can't move in any direction because I'm not sure that that's the direction I really want to move in long term, like for the rest of my life, you know? So this card very much is about experimenting, about just make a commitment to one thing and go and do that for a little while and see where it takes you. Okay? And the problem, I think, with you is that you don't like doing that if you can't see where it's going to take you. And that's the Moon card. We don't understand exactly what it's going to be, therefore I'm not really ready to get in my chariot and hit the gas. Okay? I think this is a lot more important than you realize, because I kind of feel as if the Five of Cups here is guaranteeing your sadness, disappointment, kind of negative feelings here, guaranteeing that this is not going to be a happy time if you don't do something, if you don't move in a particular direction. So I feel like there's kind of this choice on the table, maybe. It's a time in your life right now where I think you're you're looking at a lot of options. Maybe it's a lot of things. Maybe it's career, it's kind of where you're going to live, it's your love life, it's your creative life, it's your spiritual life, it's career, it's your school, it's your hobbies, it's your sports, it's your fitness, it's your all this finance, everything. There's all these variables going on. And sometimes it's overwhelming. We feel like we're just spinning, right? We're dizzy from it. Yeah. But the one thing that is guaranteed is that you will be disappointed if you don't do anything. You can't have this unbelievable feeling of success and achievement and satisfaction. You can't have these heights of experience if you don't start something, if you don't begin the journey. Okay? And I think that's kind of, in a way, this is all showing, because see now look, we've got our majors, we've got fire, we've got water, we've got air and air, we've got just a little bit of earth, and the little bit of earth is an ace. So literally what this is saying is that it doesn't quite matter, and maybe this is the realization that you're coming to. Maybe this is the important thing that you need to realize, that it doesn't really matter what exactly you're doing, but that you are pursuing something, that you are acting from an authentic, spiritual, creative place, and you are pursuing something. Doesn't really matter what it is. It doesn't matter which one of these paths you follow, but just that you're following one of these creative paths. You have a million different interests in your life. Well, if you feel passionately about all of them, then it literally doesn't matter which one you pick. But you have to pick, right? Otherwise, we're not moving. Otherwise, we take a couple steps forward that way, and we return to the middle. And then we take 2 steps this way, and then we return to the middle. So we're taking a lot of steps, but we're never really leaving the middle, right? And I think that's the problem, is that you want to be able to see the end result of something, but the end result kind of doesn't even really matter either. It's about the journey through the unknown. It's about these major arcana cards. It's about the Chariot and the Moon. Okay? I think that the Cancer energy is very strong in your life. I don't know if you have a Cancer person in your life, or if you have a very strong, maybe a very strong planet in Cancer in your chart. Okay, maybe. There's also something going on about mirrors, and I don't know if there's some sort of, if there's something about the reflection now. Okay, so I don't know if this is really. Well, we look at the Queen of Cups and we think of that surface level. The very top of the water, you know, the surface of the water is the reflective part. And so maybe there's a clue here in that we have to discern between following our own creative interests and desires and impulses and will, following our own paths, you know, plural, and distinguishing between our own desires and what are just desires that are a reflection of the world around us. Because the very top layer of this is the reflective layer, where our desires, our interests, our emotions, our feelings are not us. It's just a reflection of what's around us. We have to penetrate that layer to get to our own stuff, to get to what's actually in the water. You sometimes see these little bugs that are just like walking on the surface of the water, and you can see the little indentation, the surface tension of the water. That's what I'm talking about. And sometimes that's where we exist, that's where we live, that we don't know ours. We don't know what we truly want. Because we're just living this life that's kind of just reflective of the life around us. It's just, everything's kind of bouncing back and forth. It's just reflective. So I think that there's a clue here. I think that we have to get to the depth of what we really want. What is your heart's real desire? Or at least let's begin that experimentation. Let's at least be aware that we've penetrated the surface of the water. That's good for a start. Right? And then let's pick a path. Let's pick just one of these, as long as these are under the surface of the water. Pick one of these and start moving forward into this Queen of Wands energy. And this is really a card that kind of says, just make a statement to yourself. Just say, look, I'm going to follow this path for a day, a week, a month, a year, whatever. I'm going to commit myself to do this for the week. Like for me, when I read a book, I'm saying, okay, I'm going to at least read this particular book for a week. And then if I want to switch to something else, that's fine, but I'm going to commit myself. It's an exercise of willpower, right? It's a way that we are trying to turn all of these different options into something that we can focus, putting all of our effort into one particular path, and that's the Ace of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles is unmanifested. This is not a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of Pentacles. It's an ace. So this could be literally anything. Because this is just the seed. This will unfold into whatever it is. So this is confirming that it doesn't really matter what it is, just so long as it is your desire, that it is your path and not anybody else's path. Okay? Anyway, the Seven of Wands, of course, it is the commitment that we need to make. Because as soon as we take that oath, as soon as we make that statement and say, I'm going to read this book for 1 week, that's when the forces of evil are really going to come out of the woodwork and try to distract you. That's when it's really going to be difficult to do. It's going to amplify the opposition. Okay? It's always going to work that way. I don't know. You set the intention, I'm going to go to bed early tonight, right? And it feels like the world conspires against you to prevent that. Okay? Happens every time. You say, okay, today I'm going to fast from food. That's the day that everybody brings over all these delicious goodies that they've made, right? It just happens to be the same day. It's as if everything conspires against you. That's the Seven of Swords. Okay? But you have to stay committed. You say, I'm going to read this book for a week, or I'm going to do this path for a year, whatever it is. I'm going to try this new job for a month, see how it goes. That's what you do. No matter what happens, you stick to that, stick to your word, right? And the most difficult part, again, is just kind of choosing which one out of many. We got that Two of Swords back here. And that is kind of telling me that, yeah, there's a lot on your plate right now. There's a lot of different things for you to decide. There are a lot of options. And maybe this isn't really about the one thing. Maybe this is a decision that's really going to affect a lot of different areas of your life. But it's something that we need to set the intention toward. Okay? So it is a decision that I think, it might be one option out of many, but I think that option is going to have a ripple effect. Yeah. The Three of Cups underneath everything is telling me, too, that this is an emphasis on your path, your desires, your water energy that's still in potential form. Okay? What are your dreams? And I think that, maybe even in life, you have been doing a lot of things. You've had a very active, a very rich, a very varied life. But maybe that Five of Cups is still saying, I've done all these things in life, but I don't feel satisfied. I don't feel fulfilled. Maybe we haven't really got to the depth of your soul yet, the depth of your heart, and what you really truly desire. Maybe a lot of what you've been doing in life has been just maybe what we thought we wanted, or what other people wanted, or what we thought we should want, or whatever it is. I think the deeper we get into that Queen of Cups, the more you're going to find what your true desires and wishes and hopes and dreams and aspirations are. Okay? So we've got that three. And I think the Queen really is that kind of energy that you need. And this is what we are trying to invoke. And this is the commitment. This is saying, I've picked a path. I'm going to commit to doing it for whatever, a day, a week, a month, a year, whatever it is. And nothing is going to throw me off that course. And then, of course, at the end of that week, month, or year, or whatever, then you can change course. You can do what you need to do. But the biggest thing, the most important thing is that you begin. The first step is the most difficult. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with this first step, and this one step will unfold everything for you. It's about getting started on something, because you know you're going to be disappointed if you don't, right? That's guaranteed. The only thing that's guaranteed is that you're going to be disappointed if you don't do anything. At least moving in one of these directions has the potential to lead you to the very core of yourself. So it's kind of like by doing this process, we're learning more about what we like and what we don't like, about what is truly our depth, our soul, right? What your desires really are. And maybe this is saying, okay, for 1 week, I'm going to do this particular thing. And at the end of the week, I'm going to have some depth of knowledge about myself. And then I'll do it again in another week. And at the end of that week, I'll have even more knowledge about myself, about my own heart, right? And maybe this process has to take place a few times, right? So we've got then, of course, we talked about the Chariot and the Moon card. I think the Chariot is really, again, time for action. It's time to get in the car and go. It's time to just get your gear together and start doing something. And whatever that commitment is, you're devoted to it, right? And it's not, the Chariot's reminding us that it's not this, we're not just doing it kind of begrudgingly. We're not just saying, okay, I've committed to this thing I said I'd do it for a week. And then that whole week I'm just complaining, I'm kind of half-assing it, and I'm reading the book, but I'm just kind of skimming the pages, and I'm just, that's not it. This has to be full-on devotion for that week. It's the most important thing to you. Okay? Because only by giving it everything that you've got are you really going to discover whether or not it's meant for you. Right? Because if you're just going to kind of do it halfway, yeah, maybe you'll last the whole week, but you might as well just not have done it. Right? If you're not giving it that devotion that it deserves, that you deserve, then you might as well just not even start. Okay? And so I think that this is a very meaningful card. It is that card of devotion and commitment. Yeah. Of course, we don't like the unknown. You're someone right now that doesn't like the mystery. You don't want that disjointed nightmare dream thing with no discernible narrative. You want to be able to see clearly what's on the other side. That's not how it works. But what is on the other side is you, is the depth of your heart, is what really truly matters to you. We've got to go through this dark doorway. This is the darkness into which you're going, right? Taking that first step into this dark wilderness. We can't see what's on the other side of this doorway. We know it's going to be you. We know it's going to be an increase of gnosis, of knowledge of self, but we don't know exactly what that means yet. You're not going to know until you go. Yeah. And so this is the obstacle for us. This is what we have to get over, because I think you are someone that likes to kind of see the end before you start on something. You like to know how it's going to go and how it's going to end. This is not one of those times, right? And again, I feel like that's why you haven't really got started on something, because you can't see any of these paths through till the end. We can't see exactly how things are going to turn out. For this card, let's do a Divine Doorway affirmation card, because that is a doorway. It says, freedom flows. Don't hold yourself back from worldly freedom. Dream grand things for divine, sacred reason. Yeah, don't hold yourself back, right? I like that. Freedom flows. Don't hold yourself back, right? Dream big things. Yeah, dream big things. Well, we got to know what we want to dream. And so, and interesting with the dream and the whole moon card there. I think that's very, very important. Let's look at the mystery card. I would love for it to be the star card, your power card. That shows the inner illumination and the outer illumination as well, right? As well as it being your power card. So would get a really, really strong significance there. So let's see. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments below. Oh, we've got the High Priestess. We've got the moon, and I like that because this is the full moon. This is the new moon, that dark doorway, right? This, the High Priestess, this is the new moon. This is that intuitive light. This is that knowledge, that psychic knowledge, the awareness, the illumination, the intuition, right? This is the new moon, the dark portal. Can't see what's in there. It's a doorway, but it's black. I don't know what's in there. Scary. Don't want to do it, right? But as we walk through this door, and even in this moon card is shown the key to this, because there's that sun down beneath everything. So it's only going to be dark while you're on this side of it. You know? You're bringing the illumination. You're bringing the light of your own psychic energy, your own divine light, the light of your consciousness, the light of your awareness, self-knowledge. Every step you take into the darkness, you're illuminating just that much more of the darkness. Okay? You're kind of, you're the light that's illuminating it as you go forward. Okay? And it's the knowledge of self. It's the gnosis. Okay? So I think this is a very good confirmation. This is showing the kind of the trust in the intuition here, which is saying, you know, just pick a path, trust yourself, pick a path and commit to it for a certain amount of time and see what it teaches you, right? This is very good. We're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, there should be a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Aquarius every Thursday and Sunday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do it. It's totally free. It does not cost you anything. And leave a comment for me. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.